right, teacher.
Enter. No, that's. Do everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to love, a time to hate, a time to war, a time of peace. A time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
Good morning. Welcome to Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. Whoever you are, whatever your theological, spiritual, political, sexual, or racial orientation, or gender identity, we're glad that you joined us for worship today. Do we have announcements? Boy, do we. Oh.
I honestly don't think I have that many, but we'll see. Let's see, we have, April is Pledge Month, so we kicked that off last week. So you received a pledge form in your order of service. For anybody who was not here last week, we need the pledges so that we can budget appropriately. They give us a sense of how much money we can expect from all of you, so we know what else we need as far as fundraising and things like that. You do not need to pledge in order to be a member, nor do you need to be a member to pledge. If you would like to contribute financially on an ongoing basis, this helps us know how much. We are grateful for every dollar that you can give us. People can also pledge their time and talent. If you want to help make coffee at events, if you want to help do music, if you want to help Rick out by doing morning announcements once in a while, or if you want to clean, vacuum, basically anything that you can think of, we probably need it. So you can note that on your pledge form as well. We are collecting them all month long. Give them to Lauren. She's the only one allowed to know how much people pledge. If you are able to tell us sooner, that would be better because we are having our budget meeting next week. But if you need more time to figure it out, that's okay. End of April is the target date, but we will accept pledges at any time. Along those lines, next Sunday is a prudential meeting. That's the big budget meeting where we're going to go through, see how we're doing for our budget this year, plan our budget for next year so that we can propose it to the congregation for approval for our annual meeting. Speaking of the annual meeting, that is scheduled for Sunday, May 5th. We pushed it back a week for a few reasons. One, so Rick can be here for it, and two, so Judy can be here for it if she wants to be, but we picked it. But you made it? Yeah. So that's when we're doing the annual meeting. Again, for newer folks, the annual meeting is when the congregation at large votes on anything that needs to happen, basically. So we vote to elect new officers. I believe we're going to have a vacant seat on the Prudential Committee. Is that right, Donna? You're retiring. It's also time for people to join committees. So we have an open seat on the Prudential Committee. We also will have an open officer position for treasurer because Paul is completing his third year and he wants to retire as well. So if anybody is interested in serving on the Prudential Committee or serving as treasurer, let us know. And when we have the annual meeting, that's when we will be handling all of that. There's other business that comes up too, accepting committee reports and things like that. If you are a member of Channing Church, you can vote. If you are not yet a member of Channing Church, you're still welcome to attend the meeting. You do not have voting rights, but you certainly can offer your opinion on matters, and we will take that into account.
We call that asking an opinion.
Yes. Let's see, next Saturday is a coffee house. If anybody would like to help out with setting up tables and chairs, donating baked goods to serve, or if you want to come help during the event, just let me know or let Rick know. We're always happy to have volunteers. Let's see, we have Thursday, hang on, I gotta get back to April. Thursday, April 11th, we have intuitive meditation at 7 p.m. with Mike. If you would like to join us for that, it's free, but we do ask that you register. I email that info out. You can also find it on Facebook, or you can ask me or Mike, and we can just take down your registration in person. As a reminder, there are LGBTQ plus friendly AA meetings on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. in the back hall. You can enter on Park Street. If you know anybody who is looking for a welcoming space for AA meetings, this is the place to be. And I think that's all of my announcements. Thank you.
I'd like to put you to work this morning. Good morning, I'm Reverend Judy. I'm the affiliated minister here. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Go ahead. Stand up and holler.
Just a reminder that this month, April 27th, is IASA. So anybody that has anything at home they want to get rid of, they can start bringing it in. There's a sign-up sheet on the coffee hour table. I actually put it out there. And it's for, sign up if you can help Friday night before, Saturday, the day of the yard sale, any hours you can give us. And then we also have a bake table, so if you can make something for that, people are always looking for baked goods when it comes to the yard sale. As far as that week of the yard sale, prior to, when we find out the dates of the use of the church, we'll let you know when we get closer, what nights will be here, and if you want to come to help out. Any questions, you can see me or Erin, after, coffee hour.
Let it be known, I love yard sales. Now, then, once again, I'm Reverend Judy Campbell, and I am the affiliated minister here. We've come to the Channing Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a welcoming congregation. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. Whatever your lifestyle is, you're welcome here. Whatever your theology or lack of theology is, you are welcome here as part of our beloved community. So welcome. And let's open this morning by putting you to work. I'd like to do a responsive reading for our opening words. It is number 436 in the back of our hymnal. And I will read the big print, and I will ask you to all to read the italics. And now I'm going to sound a bit teachery, but as you read these words, please listen to what you're saying. Speaking of membership and community and annual meeting and commitment, all set in love. We come to this time and this place
to rediscover the wondrous gift of free religious community,
to renew our faith in the holiness, goodness, and beauty of life,
to reaffirm the way of the open mind and full heart,
to rekindle the flame of memory and hope, and
to reclaim the vision of an earth made fair with all people one.
truer words were never hoped for. May it be so. Rick, would you light our chalice?
Please stand if you're willing and able, and recite with me the words found in the order of service. Signaling this flame of our mythical heritage, our chalice of community, let us open it to the presence of the Savior. And now the affirmation, please.
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer.
To
To
dwell
dwell
together
in
in peace,
to seek knowledge in freedom,
to
to
serve
serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine,
thus we
in covenant with each other and with God. I want to thank, our opening hymn is number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, and we have an ensemble this morning. Mike and Rick and Christy. Get that 3 times and I'll have it.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't bend your ears to the song. Open your ears to this song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Oh, don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Please be seated. And may I have the kidlets up here, the children. If you want to, if you need to bring mom with you, if you feel more comfortable, most or dad or grandparents, because even though it's for the kids, you can listen. Here you are. If you have a button there. Is there anybody here who has never gotten mad in their life? Is there anybody here who's gotten so mad they could spit? Good. Now, what do I have in here? Dragon in here. It's a very heavy dragon. I got him in the craft shop in Norwalk, and they is really an incense burner. It's heavy as lead, and it's beautifully made artistically. You don't really see that it's two pieces, so you pick it up and you could drop it. And I don't want to do that, but to set the tone, I'm going to put the dragon up on the cover. Because my dragon, even though dragons are good luck charms, they're supposed to scare away the demons. There. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about getting it. What do when you get that? Make a face. Cross your arms. Stamp your feet sometimes. I got mad yesterday because I forgot something when I went. Just like that. I'm going to tell you a story about somebody who got mad. She got really mad. She got really, really, really mad. And she did it in the best way possible. How many of you here have been to Fair Beach? It's a Unitarian Universalist conference center up in Maine. If Danny was here, he would be flapping his arms all over the place. I think that's where I first met Danny. Anyway, for many years, I worked at Fair Beach teaching arts and crafts. And I lived in a house sometimes that had the one washer and dryer in the whole campsite at that point. So everybody used it. And of course, the dryer was beginning to fade, but that's another story. The house was very old, and there was steps coming, and the dryer was past for the kitchen. So there was steps and a door coming into one side of the kitchen, and the other side near the washer and dryer, there was another door with some more steps coming up. And on that door, the top step had a loose board, and everybody fell over. Did anybody fix it? They were going to get around to it. It's on the list. Well, my friend Levy came in to do her laundry, She had a laundry basket this big, and she held the door open with her behind, and she stepped up and she caught her foot on the door, on the loose board. She dropped the basket, came tumbling into the kitchen, and landed herself sitting in a pile of dirty laundry. What do you think she did? She yelled a word I wouldn't say in church. Although I might slip sometimes. Boy, am I mad, she said. And she tapped her feet. And then she pounded the floor. She said, I am so mad. I am really mad. Because we're all watching this thing. And she said, I am so mad. I'm going to fix that step. So she scooped up her laundry and she stuck it in the washing machine. She stormed out to the workshop. She got a hammer, she got some nails, and she pounded the step back in. So she took all that bad, which was a lot of energy, and she fixed something for everybody. So then she got good and mad. So if you get mad, and everybody does, if somebody tells you, oh, don't get mad over that, tell them, excuse me, I will get mad if I want to, because it's my right as a human being to get mad. But then I have to find out why I'm mad and talk to somebody. Okay? Thank you for listening. And we wave, twinkle star about. Will you teach us? I'll miss you. Twinkle about them. True story. True story. Now we've come to the time in our order of service for the sharing of our joys and concerns, those events and mile markers in our lives that shape our own lives and give them meaning. And when we share those stories with our beloved community, we get support, we share our joy, and we get support in our grief. So who has a joy or a concern? And please holler as if you're talking outside so we can all hear you. Or repeat it.
A candle concern, there was a woman who was intentionally struck by a car in my hometown the other day. And I learned this morning that she died of her injuries.
That's not good, Mad. It's
It was
not good,
a
Mad.
road rage incident.
Oh,
Joseph?
Candle of concern for the members of the World Central Kitchen for injuries.
can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear it.
A candle concern for the members of the World Central Kitchen who were injured.
Absolutely.
Susan?
A candle for a good friend of mine who has Parkinson's. She fell in and she is now on the hospice.
Greg?
I got an apartment in Rockland, so I guess for a joy for myself, because I was really worried I didn't have to move away. But I want to also for there was somebody in one of the meetings I go to for Friday that passed away of an overdose at the age of 21. At such a young age, you have to learn that hard of a lesson. But it has to serve as a reminder for the rest of us of how serious addiction is. And I guess another channel for anybody that is struggling with it, and I hope that they find recovery.
Donna?
A candle for our daughter who's dealing with some medical issues and trying to get doctor's appointments. And it's crazy.
Candle from my neighborhood, like,
year we can finally make it happen. It's done.
It's not a joy or a concern, but if anybody likes daffodils and jonquils, go out on Route 106 in Clinton and Halifax. There's thousands.
That's a joy.
That they planted along the road. It's absolutely beautiful. Give it another week of sun. It'll be beautiful.
I will be going to my family to work in my life.
Would you light a memory candle for me, for my Auntie Joan, who died this, yesterday, Friday or Saturday, I'm not sure which yet, but beloved. And would you light one more candle? Would you light one more candle for the joys and concerns that we have heard as we hold one another in our thoughts, and for those joys and concerns we hold in our hearts without words? Now we join together, please, in a couple of moments of quiet thoughtfulness, prayer, meditation, however you find the quiet in your soul. Think about what we've heard. Think about what we didn't say. Think about all those people who do need our prayerful thoughts, including yourself. Spirit of the living God, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, let me offer pardon. When I am in doubt, strengthen my faith. When there is despair, may I find hope. Where there is darkness, help me turn towards the light. And where there is sadness, help me rediscover my joy. Eternal Presence, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, and it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. May it be so. Amen. May we join together in singing hymn 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots wholly close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Part of the work we do as a community is reach out beyond our walls and reach out to each other. And to do that takes more than love. It takes your donations. So give as generously as you can, and if you can't, think kindly thoughts. Thank you, Mike.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed.
Please stand as you are willing and able for the dedication of gifts. The word is to be found in the order of service. 1 second for an instrument change.
We will sing an a cappella, I think. I don't think anything. Oh, you're going to play? Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Spirit of truth, of light and power, we bring ourselves as gifts to thee. Oh, bind our hearts this sacred hour in faith and hope and charity. Amen.
Please be seated.
What constitutes healthy anger? When we get angry, we usually direct our attention outward on the person or situation that contributes to our anger. In this way, being caught up in the world of anger diminishes awareness of our bodies and the inherent tension associated with anger, feelings of threat and other negative feelings that precede it. Such moments are absent of reflection. By contrast, healthy anger demands reflection, the capacity to pause and assess whether the threat we feel is real and imminent, and to determine the urgency of the situation and to respond appropriately and constructively. So these aren't my words. These are from Bernard Golden, PhD. So I'm going to start using but I'm quoting him. Throughout the years of my work as a helping professional, again, not me, I have come to observe the very positive aspects of anger and to define specific skills that are essential for the practice of healthy anger. These include the following. 1, healthy anger means observing and experiencing anger without being overwhelmed by it and reacting to it. 2, healthy anger means recognizing our anger as a signal to explore the feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations that precede it. 3, healthy anger means viewing anger as a signal to direct our attention inward, to identify our core desires, needs, and values. 4, healthy anger calls for developing self-compassion, which includes skills to enhance our sense of safety and connection. 5, healthy anger includes developing strategies to let go of anger, which may include forgiving others and yourself. 6, healthy anger encompasses compassionate practices that don't cause suffering for others or for ourselves. 7, healthy anger means learning how to communicate assertively and with others. And 8, healthy anger enhances our resilience and overall well-being.
Amen to that. I'm going to preface my words, my script this morning by some personal thoughts predicated on your sharing this morning of someone who was killed as a result of road rage. And I don't know when it became fashionable to get ugly mad and do things about it, but it certainly is glorified on the media and not just politics. It's suddenly very fashionable to let it all hang out with no recourse, whatever you feel like saying or doing. And while I'm, as Rick read about in so much, and I talked to the kids about, being in touch with what is making you angry, what is making you that furious. When you're in touch with it, then you don't have to act on it in a bad way. You can redirect it. But nobody, it seems to be accepted now. Oh, he was mad. He was mad. Wait a minute. She just hurt someone. No, that's not okay. I'll be quiet now. No, I won't. Get mad. Ministers are never quiet. You have to get used to that too. Get mad. Get good and mad. Many years ago in the mountains of Tibet, 2 monks, one young and new to monastic life, and the other much older and well-seasoned, were walking beside a river that was swollen and turbulent from the spring rains. The beauty of it and the sound of its raw power filled them with wonder and appreciation of the majesty of nature. As they walked, discussing the morning lesson, they came upon a beautiful woman standing and weeping at the edge of the rushing river. The older monk stopped and asked if he could help. Through her tears, she said she had to cross the river to care for her dying mother, and she couldn't swim. "Climb on my back," said the old monk, "and I will carry you across. Even though I am old, I am still a strong swimmer." He took off his outer robes, and the woman tied up her skirts and climbed onto his back and put her arms around his broad chest. The water was cold and the current was very powerful, but they made it across. The woman thanked him from the bottom of her heart and set off to tend her mother. When he came back to the younger monk and rejoined the younger monk, and the two resumed their walk, period. As they continued along, the older man became aware there was a dark silence that had come between them. The normally talkative young man now said nothing and only kicked at stones along the path. When it was time for their midday meal, they sat down under a tree and held out their begging bowls in hopes of food. There, the old man finally broke the heavy silence. "Is there something troubling your heart, my son? Ever since I carried the woman across the river, you have been silent, and there are deep lines across your forehead and around your mouth. What is the cause of the anger I see in your face and can feel in the way you're sucking in your breath and blowing it out?" The younger man turned to the older man and snarled, "How can you ask why I am angry? You have taken a vow of celibacy. Monks are not even supposed to look at a woman, lest we be tempted. You not only looked at her, you carried her. You let her wrap her arms and legs around you. You swam with her pressed against your back. Once I admired you for your piety and for your deep, pure spirit, but you have deceived me. You are nothing but a liar and a charlatan. The old man waited, leaning back against the tree and holding his wooden bowl with easy hands until the younger man had spat out all of his venom before saying, "My son, I set the woman down and left her on the side of the river. I fear that you are still carrying her." Think about it. How many of us have carried or are still carrying an anger that we need to be rid of? Intellectually, we know it's hurting no one but ourselves, but still we let it grind away instead of letting it go. But can we really let go of anger? I say yes, but only if we really want to. We all know the joke about how many UUs does it take to change a light bulb? Any number, but only if the light bulb really wants to change. And so the parallel there is, do you really want to let go of an anger that is holding you in its grip? The first thing, if you really want to do, the first thing you need to do is unpack it and acknowledge it and do it justice. And I say this because not everybody wants to let go of their anger. They really kind of like that. Somebody to be mad at. Have you met people like that? You know, they need someone or something to be mad at because they've got a head of steam just looking for an excuse. Poor things. The first thing you need to do is unpack why you're angry. Unpack it, acknowledge it, and do it justice. Do anger justice. What did this woman just say? Haven't most of us been taught to turn the other cheek, suck it up? Don't let them see you sweat. We have been given such mixed messages about anger. Good girls don't get mad. Or don't get mad, get even. How about the opposite? I just hate confrontation, so I don't talk about it. If I don't talk about it, it'll go away. And what happens? You get a migraine, you get indigestion, your back goes out, you have anxiety attacks. Don't know where those came from. Well, the truth is that people do get angry. Animals get angry. You ever seen a mad dog or a cat? They're funny. Sure you have. Anger is a normal human emotion. But hanging on to unresolved anger is emotionally and physically draining, and it can be spiritually toxic. I believe we can decide how and where to use our anger, and I'd like to demonstrate that on a very basic level. Ordinarily, I don't do exercises of this nature on a Sunday service, but I can think of no other way to make my point. I'm going to ask you, if you're comfortable, to shut your eyes, and don't if you're not comfortable. It just makes it easier. Get yourself into a comfortable position and take a deep breath and blow it out slowly. Now, I want you to think of something that made you or made you really angry. Something that makes you mad as hell. Maybe it's an injustice that you experienced. Maybe it's something in the current political climate or something that's happened years ago but still bothers you. Once you have it, let yourself remember it and let yourself remember how you felt then. Now locate it in your body. Where's that feeling in your body? Maybe it's a feeling of uncomfortable warmth in your neck or face or the tips of your ears, or a tightness in the pit of your stomach, or a tensing in your neck or your shoulder muscles. Feel that. Feel that anger. Stay with it. Now, take that same anger, roll it up, and stuff it into an imaginary box and put the cover on it. Set it down beside you. It'll be there if you need it, but you know where it is for now. You've identified it, you've experienced it, and you've made a choice to set it to one side. Now, with your eyes still closed, Take another deep breath. In and out. And now think of something that lifts your heart and makes you feel good all over. The smell of a baby's hair after a bath, a walk in the woods after a rain, the sound of a river, the memory of your grandparents' pipe tobacco, or the scent of fresh laundry. For some, it's cooking a wonderful meal, or the feel of freshly turned earth in your hands. It might be smoothing a lovely piece of wood, or the beauty and excitement of the first snow. Once you've identified what that is for you, sit back and let those wonderful feelings and thoughts fill your body. This time, hold on to it. Feel the softness in your neck and your shoulders and in your stomach. Enjoy the pace and depth of your slower breathing. And then when you get ready, give yourself a mental hug and open your eyes. Or a real one if you feel like it. If you were able to stay with me through this, you had the experience of locating an angry, ouchy place and really owning it, and then choosing to put it aside. Didn't say get rid of it. I said locate it, know where it is, pack it up, and stash it. And then choosing to put it aside. Then I asked you to connect to a peaceful, contented place and letting that feeling come to the surface and fill you up. Each time, each experience, you were in control of what you thought about and what you chose to do with it. What you thought about and what you chose to do with it. This is not a parlor trick, or nor is it a leftover from the touchy-feely 70s. Boy, that's dating me. It is a concrete way of connecting with a feeling and examining it, and then deciding what to do with it. And I've underlined that in my sermon, deciding what to do with it. As far as that little box of anger you just packed up, it's there. You know where it is. Ask yourself how important it is to keep hanging on to it. If it is something that needs to be resolved, then try and find a time and a way to do it. And if you can't do it by yourself, then get some help. And hopefully you can find a way to use the anger energy in a positive way. My house never gets so clean as when I've got a good head of steam built up over something I'm mad about. Maybe you chop wood, clean the car, dig out the fridge. That's putting anger energy to good work. Anger is a powerful gut feeling that can be used in a positive and productive as a positive and productive source of energy. It can, or conversely, it can be negative and destructive, or turned inward if left unresolved. If left unresolved, it can turn into depression, anxiety, physical pain. And it all depends on how you choose to use it and what you do with it. Anger in itself is neither bad nor good. Anger is a passionate response to something that negatively affects you. And passion, responsibly directed, is great. Passion gets things done. Apathy is the opposite of passion and is a death knell to the human spirit. People who are good and mad put their outrage to good use in fighting for healthcare reform or marriage equality, in doing something about the greenhouse effect. People who are good and mad get up off their collective behinds and make a difference. People who are apathetic don't. They simply don't care. And as much as I'd like to, reminding myself, don't even be judgmental about that, Judy. Just people are different. Ralph Nader got good and mad, that's also dating myself, about consumer fraud. The brave people are Unitarian Universalists, many among them, who struggled to pass civil rights legislation in the 60s were good and mad. The suffragettes in the 1920s who finally won the vote for women were good and mad. We Unitarian Universalists are not a sanctimonious, pietistic, soul-saving bunch of hymn slingers, content to sit in the pews, and keep our vision and our good works to ourselves. We are a gentle, angry people. We are opinionated, loud-mouthed, and passionate about what we believe in and what we advocate. And because of that passion, we, you, me, all of us, are making that world better for everyone, and coincidentally, for ourselves. And speaking of ourselves, have you ever noticed that church people can get mad sometimes? I mean, really, 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 really mad, especially in meetings. If we're called to be our best, everybody is smirking. Ha ha, gotcha. I speak from experience. Shut. If we are called to be our best and most fully realized human selves and support one another in the journey, why is it that we fight like hell over such seemingly trivial things as the color of the rug in the sanctuary, or trying a different arrangement of seats, or whether or not to recite the Lord's Prayer or read from the Bible in Sunday worship? In other words, if the suggestion change doesn't come from me or you, we hate it, and it makes us mad. But what I have come to know over the years that in any organization, not just churches, that underneath the sometimes explosive anger that erupts over something that seems trivial is fear. Fear that something we are emotionally and spiritually deeply invested in might change into something less comfortable and less familiar. Fear of the unknown, fear of loss, fear of stepping outside our comfort zone is a powerful anger maker, and most of us will fight like heaven to preserve the status quo. Because often underneath the apparent anger over how and where, for example, we hang our rainbow flag, or we position the wheelchair ramp, is really fear of the unknown. What will happen if we change too much and too fast? Will this still be my spiritual home as I know it? And what will happen to me if it isn't? We sang this morning, well, enter, rejoice, and come in. Did you notice one of the verses says, don't be afraid of some change? I'd like to have that one sung about 16 times. Change is a real tricky thing. I've invested a good part of my life in this church, and I really don't want it to change. But life goes on. Fear of loss and the anger over that fear is very understandable and very poignantly and powerfully human. So the next time you feel angry, and we all will, before you blow up or bury it, see if you can figure out why you're angry. And then look and see if there might be something else underneath it. If you can figure that out, you have a better chance at choosing how to use the anger energy to generate positive action. In other words, you have my permission. Go ahead and get mad. But when you do, make sure you get good and mad. Or as the beloved and esteemed late civil rights activist John Lewis, may he rest in peace, said, do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful, be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and to get in trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. May it be so. Amen. Amen. Our closing hymn this morning is number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. And I think we agreed to sing 4 verses? Something like that?
I think so.
Yeah. Please stand as you're willing and able.
We are and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle people, and we are singing for our lives. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are justice-seeking people, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. We are gentle, loving people, and we are singing for our lives. Please be seated. Before I get to my closing words, I want to say a few words about that song. I heard the composer give a talk at our General Assembly one year. She was Holly Near. She was absolutely amazing. She did something I've never seen. Well, I've seen black preachers do it, but I haven't seen white preachers do it. And she would talk, and then she would go into a song, and she would sing for a while, and then she'd come out of the song and be talking again. It was, I was going to say mind-blowing, but it was also completely mesmerizing. It was wonderful. But the song we just sang, We're Gentle, Angry People, many years ago, when I was fairly new in ministry, and one of my nieces, my lesbian niece, was not married and not really out, and her family, it was sort of something that they didn't talk about. But she talked to me. I said, come to church one Sunday. I was preaching. And I said, and I chose this song. And I said, take a look at the song you're going to sing. And she just went, wow. You're welcome here, honey. You're welcome here. Some years later, I married her to her wife in the most beautiful family wedding you ever saw in your life. And I'm Auntie Reverend now. I love it. Closing words. Go your ways, knowing not the answers to all things, yet seeking always the answer to one more thing than you know. Spirit of life, help us to be always to be hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth, as without light, nothing flowers. Amen. And go in peace. Rick, will you extinguish our chalice?
Please stand as you're willing and able and recite with me the words found in the order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth,
or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please be seated for our postlude.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, and friends and family.
Sure. It's a slow hurdy-gurdy to start. Yeah, get the crank going.